Hey guys, Happy Splasher here. Good morning. So right now I'm going to make a video about the new Warlord skin. So let's go check it out. So as you can see, it is called Dark Reaper Morgoth. It is actually part of the Void Spirit family, as you can see right here. And you'll see its skills. So there are 3 skills. So the first skill here is a passive skill, meaning that it will always happen. And what will happen is at the end of the turn, will deal damage to the Warlord. Okay, the second skill here is that it grants enemies an ability. At the start of the turn, they will take damage equal to 150% of their own attack. And then on the third skill, it is summon 3 Soul Binder Blades to the first row. So we can review a couple of those skills. So first of all, this passive skill, this helps out a lot because it deals damage to the Warlord at the end of the turn, and that'll help break through in case there are other heroes that are blocking your way for damage. And also, it kind of puts more pressure against the Warlord that you're facing because if they can't heal, they'll eventually take extra damage. This is pretty much just the sudden death, but ramped up in terms of damage. The second skill here, so grants an enemy an ability, start of the turn will take damage equal to 150% of their own attack. And so what happens is that heroes that are already on the field on the enemy side, what will happen is they'll get marked with this skill, and then they will take damage equal to 150% of their own attack. And so that'll help against heroes that are really strong and have low defense, because that way they'll just take their damage immediately. And it also clears them out. It does not work against immune heroes, but it works against pretty much everything else. And the only other way to block it is with Mental Shield or perhaps Cleanse. So this skill is pretty good against those heroes that are very strong, and it'll wipe out the field pretty much immediately. So it's a little quicker than the board wipe, the destruction skill with the Geisha family, or Geisha Trixie family rather. So this final skill here is summon 3 Soul Binder Blades to the front row. And so what happens is it'll actually summon 3 buildings that will allow you to deal random damage whenever a ranged hero attacks on your side. And that'll be useful in order to attack through other heroes. Another thing too is that it triggers off anytime a ranged hero on your side attacks. And that's good because even if your ranged heroes are pretty weak, they will also deal damage, and they also trigger off on each attack as well. So if you have heroes that can do multiple attacks or do multiple summons, that'll be a way to actually take advantage of the skill. So right now I'm going to also hop into League, and then we'll show you a couple of battles using the Warlord skin. So let's start off with, we're going to start off with this floss here just to get a little bit of board coverage, and then also have some protection behind the building. Okay, this Aharon will have some phantom attack, and that is okay. We'll go with the Yoster over here, just for some potential block. Also, we'll be able to silence the Aharon if she dies. Okay, so we'll use that first skill over here. So this one is the dealing the damage. As you'll see, we'll mark these heroes for damage, and then we'll place an additional hero. In this case, let's go for the... We'll go with the Deadlord here on D3, just to get blocks of the lanes. So as you can see, those heroes were immediately destroyed, even that grandma over there. Okay, in this case now, against the Arthur Frostblade with the Khalid Bull, we'll play this Yorick here on B1, just to deal some damage. Okay, we forced a silence, so that is good. We're taking a little bit of damage because of the Drogon Pet, and that's okay. So we'll do that third skill here. So this one, as mentioned, so we'll summon the 3 Soul Binder Blades. And at our current level right now, at 105, we'll be able to summon Soul Binders that deal this much damage. So in this case, we'll go with the Grace. And with this one Grace, we should be able to wipe out everything, because of the 3 Soul Binders and then also the random damage. Okay, let's see. We'll keep going. We'll go next with this. We'll go with this Eternal Sun here on A3. We can get some Mental Shield, protect these Soul Binders, and then also the Grace. Okay, the Grace will actually now be destroyed because of the counterattack, but that is okay. Go next with, let's see. We'll just block here with the Yoster. We'll see the counterattack, and that is alright. You can see the random damage clearing out the Shard, and then also the Shadow to Moon after there. Okay, in this case, we'll go with the Groot to silence the Aharon. And then we'll finally finish this battle up with open attacks on lanes A and B. And so there you go. Okay, we'll hop into 2 more battles, and then we'll show you another... we'll talk about some recommendations for this Warlord skin. Okay, so against the Shadows of Shimuna, we'll go with the Root to silence her, so that way she doesn't keep on getting shards. Okay, we'll look to... let's see... yeah, I guess we'll go with the Grace, and hopefully the random damage will clear out the Tear Shot. Okay, we'll clear out the Aphrodite here. Okay, we force the silence, and that is good because we then want to force the stones next. Go with the Aharon behind the Groot here. Okay, we'll go with our damage skill, and then we'll also go with... I guess we can also go with the stones at this point, or sorry, the soul binders. Then we will attack with this floss because it does have higher health, and it'll take the damage of the Aharon. Excuse me. We'll see the negative attack, and that is all right. Okay, we have a Groot coming out. We'll summon the Yoster here. Okay, we'll summon, let's see. We have 2 soul binders that can still deal damage, and that is good. So we'll place this one in front of... yeah, we'll actually play this one over here on D2, because I don't want to draw silence towards the soul binders. And then we also have some coverage on lane D as well. Okay, we will go next with the Eternal Sun here on A2. We'll have a random damage with the soul binders. And then at the end of the turn, the Eternal Sun will give Mental Shield to all heroes around, which includes the soul binders as well. And at this point, even with the Void Jewel here giving the Curse and the Mental Shield, we should have lethal because of the random damage hitting, breaking the shields. And there we go. Okay, we got one more battle here. Okay, this time around, let's start with our Yoster on E1. We do have the Caesar's Head here that is going to give Mental Shield, but that shouldn't be too much of a problem, especially with our other heroes here. Okay, we have our damage at the beginning. Let's go with the Yorick here on C1 to clear out the Ghosta. Okay, we have our damage from the Yoster at the beginning. We don't need to worry about the Sheer Shot now. We'll just go with the damage skill because it will be cleared out because the attack is more than its health by 150%. And then we will also follow up with the thing what's going to make sense. Let's go with... well, we don't want to block our melee spots because of the soul binders, so let's actually grab another attacker. Let's go with the Loss here on B2. We'll get some more summons. We'll have the hero be destroyed, or the Tear Shot be destroyed by the damage skill. And they gave up. Yeah, so there you go. Okay, we'll open up this victory chest while we're here as well. At this point now, we will go back to the squad, and then we'll check out some recommendations that we can use for the Morgoth skin. So the best part about the Morgoth skin is that you can use range heroes a lot, so you can actually afford to have your squad a little imbalanced because pretty much as long as you keep the soul binders alive, you'll be able to get advantage on the board. So in this case, you can see a couple of heroes that we have. We have the Yoster over here with the health boost at the end of the turn, which will help as long as we have some more females, and then also deal some additional damage, which will allow the soul binders to focus more of their damage. We have the Yorick here to clear out some heroes by dealing some damage to other heroes that could be behind buildings, and also the Reborn. We have the floss here, which has the multiple summons, and then also the poison. The poison helps clear out some heroes, and then the multiple plants that attack will also trigger each soulbinder. And also, it doesn't hurt that the floss gets a health boost at the end of the turn, so in case there are some heroes like a Haran, we can get around that. We have the Grace here with the random damage, and then also giving an attack boost that will help us get the board back. And the soul binders, because of the amount of damage they do, they will contribute to the number of kills pretty quick for the 7 extra attacks. We have the Aharon here. We have the Aharon with the Phantom Attack, and Phantom Attack does actually count as a ranged hero attacking, so because of that, this is pretty much a must play. And then the evasion and the negative attack does also help as well. We have the Deadlord here for some transform against a melee enemy that we can't get rid of. Also the zombies to just help block and then also attack. And then they'll also keep us alive for at least 1 turn to cover the lanes. We have the Groot here to silence some heroes that can get in the way of the soul binders, and then also just allow us to keep board pressure as well. And then finally, we have the Eternal Sun here. The Eternal Sun gives Mental Shield at the end of the turn, and that will help keep some of the soul binders alive, and then allow you to get some more advantage. So that is the squad that I use right now for the Dark Reaper Morgoth. There are also a couple of other heroes that I was thinking about tinkering around with. So for example, in the ranged section here, we can use the Villain Nomad Genius to give a health boost over to some heroes, which include also the Soul Binders. Could potentially use the Arachne that has Mental Shield, so at least you'll have at least 1 hero on the board. Let's see what else. You could use the Yuri here with some extra damage to ranged enemies, and so that'll allow you to then have the soul binders to clear out more melee heroes. We have the Justia over here with some mist that will allow you to slow down the enemies, but then also give yourself the chance to use a ranged hero to attack. And so there are plenty of heroes that you can use depending upon what you want to do for the squad. I try to revolve it around just trying to stay alive for a little bit, and then also using ranged heroes to take advantage of the soul binders. But there are plenty of heroes that you can use in order to suit your needs. So check it out. Overall, the skin is pretty fun. You'll take a little bit of damage in the beginning, but if you can actually survive till that turn, where you can get the soul binders out, you can get the board back pretty quickly, and then it's pretty much just a better ogre at that point, because you won't be healing, but you'll be able to destroy a lot more heroes. So we will see you guys later. This is Happy Splasher, signing off.